Hi, everyone. It's Lynn Davenport and Mary Lowe here with Families Engaged. This is going to be a quick one. We're going to try to do a spotlight on some of these contracts that are going through the Texas Education Agency. So we'll try and do maybe the contract of the month or maybe of the week, since there's so
I
many
think
of them,
it's yeah,
of the day.
these are the day, and really, honestly, this might be where where the name ticked came from, because
Yeah.
all of these contracts, who receives them, I think at the end of the day that they're one of the things that have driven us to research and research and research. So, what do you have on Maya Consulting?
Wheel. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen on this one. So we've got Representative James Talarico, who is a little darling of the left because, and I'm not to make this partisan, but it's just where it ends up.
Listen, I don't even think he's left. I think he's left the left. He's so
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
he's got such an agenda. Yeah.
the thing that he's actually for privatization. He's pro charter schools, and I don't know where he stands on vouchers, but I bet it'll be slippery on that one. But anyway, so he works for Maya Consulting, and before he worked for Maya, and he's on the House Public Education Committee, but before he worked for Maya, he worked for another TEA vendor, which was Reasoning Mind. So now he's with
Right.
Maya. Maya was started by another Teach for America guy named Larkin Tackett. And so from what I gather, and I think there's been more payments made since then, but they've been paid over $5 million from the TEA, but he was awarded a sweetheart. This Larkin Tackett guy was awarded a sweetheart contract from Morath. So before, let's see, it was originally just Tackett who was running Maya Consulting, and then
Yes.
once he got awarded the contract with the TEA, and it says he got to the TEA to award the firm the
Yeah,
status.
I don't think Tackett didn't have any money. This was an inconsequential company. Maya Consulting was, and
Well,
then
so
what TEA made them,
right,
but
and
why?
so sorry, I'm trying not to talk over you. So it says they awarded the firm the status as a technical advisor to federal programs. But then once the pandemic hit, then that's when things kind of exploded. So school districts were forced to hire and pay Maya fees directly, and some of them are like $20,000 a month. But this avoids local procurement. So if they run it through the TEA or through the Education Service Center, they get away with doing this. So I just want to spotlight that and have people be aware of this. So I'm scrolling through. They have a lot of word salad and educanese and a lot of nebulous. It's like, what do they do? And it doesn't really say, but the one thing that stood out to me is the whole cradle to career thing. We're data driven, cradle to career. So a lot of it is an access point. They use a lot of UN sustainable development.
Holistic family, child, and youth support. I mean, what does that mean?
What is
Data ownership, stewardship, and community inclusion. What does that mean? And it has the globe.
Yeah.
What do these things mean? Again, word salad.
Yeah, and most of these nonprofits and for-profit consulting companies who are in education are what some people refer to as poverty pimps. So they kind of circle the federal and state dollars, and they use all of these, euphemisms and all this word salad in order to access those contracts. So, I don't know what that responsive relationships, holistic family, child and youth support, quality learning environments, all the things that you just saw on that main screen. It's clear as mud. But we're trying to show that anybody who's talking about property tax relief in Texas, it's all an empty platitude. If they're not talking about where the spending is going through this major agency, then I don't want to hear from them, because they're full of it. And what you and I have uncovered is an increase in spending by 37% through the Texas Education Agency. We did a previous podcast about that. So we've got to name names and we have to get people talking about this. We've got the teacher organizations talking about it. We're trying to alert them to this. And we want to know, where's the return on the investment on all of this stuff? And we know that there's not.
I mean, for somebody who's data driven and they want to see outcomes. I mean, that's all they talk about. I want to know, where's the outcome on this? I want a hardcore measurable outcome that goes directly to academics.
Right.
Because we are already spending enormous money on mental health through the education system. And of course, that's a problem we're creating. So I need to know, where is this? My own personal belief is that this was nepotism or cronyism, whichever way you want to look at it, that this was a favor for the sweetheart of TFA.
Yes, it's a Teach for America patronage network. That's essentially what it is. And there was also an article it was on Teach for America talking about this Maya Consulting. So they promote each other on the Teach for America website. And of course, we know that the legislature has allocated a significant chunk to Teach for America. And it's supposed that the idea is that they would fill a void where that we have a shortage of teachers. So they have these kids come out of college, they don't know what they want to do, so they go into Teach for America. They're recruited, they're given 5 weeks of training, and then they go into high poverty, high needs campuses, and they only have to give 2 years, and then they're inducted or initiated into this network, and they go on to make a lot of money around education. Most of them get out of Teach for America, but they stay in the education ecosystem where the boards, commissions, political favors, contracts, jobs, all of those things are lined up for them. And so we're just trying to expose that. So anything else you want to say about Maya Consulting before we close?
Again, I mean, I think a lot of the teachers may know more about this than we do, and I hope that we get a lot of messaging back from those who have encountered it, and we can get some on the ground information, because that's really where we learn the most, is from the teachers and the people that encounter. As with Amplify, that's how we learn the most, is how it's being implemented at the local level. You know, how is this being implemented at the local level? What's the benefit? And really, I don't know anybody who sees this implemented at the local level. So my question is, did we just give them a contract because we have money in education in Texas, and it's plush and we can spend it, and it helps out James Talarico, who's the sales rep for them?
Oh, and that's a conflict of interest. That's something that we probably need to address with. I don't know where you go if a legislature.
Well, I did. I went to this. I mean, I'm telling on myself. I did go to the Secretary of State, and I asked, and they said that it was up to the committee chair. That if the committee chair didn't see a problem with them being on the committee, because he was on Education Committee and still is on House Education Committee, if they don't see a problem with him being on there, that's up to them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a problem with that, but.
Okay, so we can share this, and this should be appealing to both people on both ends of the political spectrum, because if we know that these people are getting these deals and the money's not going to the teachers and the students, we should all be concerned with that. You can file a public information request on any contract that you're suspicious of through the Texas Education Agency or through your local school district. If you see these consultants coming in and you know that they're connected for Teach for America, then you can file an open records request. If you can't find anything, look at the education service centers, because sometimes it runs through the 20 service centers. Yes.
So 2 things. One, if they're a technical status as technical advisor for federal programs, look, if Texas doesn't decouple themselves from all federal money in regards to education, we will never have a decent education system, and parents will never have any rights, and children will never be safe. So if it's about federal programs, then, you know, I'm sorry, stop spending that money right here and right now. And when you look at it, it sounds a little bit like it might be another equity organization. And if it's all about equity, how many equity organizations do we need to employ because
And I
we're
call it,
paying
it's fakeity. It's just total, it's fakeity. And
equity.
nothing ever, no, the irony of it is the children that they purport to help are the ones who are falling behind the most.
Hurting
And,
worse.
and we're spending all this money, and yet you don't see the needle is not moved on children in poverty, nor is it moved on minority children who they claim to want to lift up. So yeah, it's fakeity. Correct.
Yeah, equity. Okay, so regardless whether it's just crony deal for Mike Morath to hand off to his good friend James Talarico, or whether it so he can make $500,000 off of the deal, which I'm sure he made that if not more, or if it's about help managing federal programs, well, that it needs to be cut because of that, because we don't want federal programs. And if it's equity or fakeity, whatever you want to call it, how many are we going to have? We've got Holdsworth, we have Leadership ISD, I mean, we have Commit. I mean, how many contracts do we need to have to push equity? And what we already know is about equity in our schools is that it's a lie. It is fake.
Yeah, there's a bunch of there's Teaching Trust, there's Maya, there's Safal Partners. We're going to feature a bunch of them in months and weeks to come. So be looking for that. Share this with people that would be concerned about this. So, all right, we'll close out, and thanks for engaging. And family, you can reach us at familiesengaged.org. info@familiesengaged.org is the email address, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great week.